Hi, welcome to the Simon Chardier Show. I was like, okay, we're gonna play some rockabilly today, not jazz. And actually, this shit is just as hard to play as jazz. I'm getting my fucking ass kicked over here. Oh my fucking god. Be Bible, baby, you're the one for me. Be Bible, baby, you fit me to a T. Now you love beer, baby, I love gin. Put the two together and we're bound to win. Beer battle, baby, you're the one for me. Just the other day, I passed a cabaret where I heard one barfly say to a barfly across the way. Beer battle, baby, you're the one for me. Beer bottle, baby, you suit me to a T. Well, you love beer, baby, I love gin. Put the two together and we're bound to win. Beer bottle, baby, you're the one for me. Beer bottle, baby, you're the one for me. Beer bottle, baby, you suit me to a T. Well, you love beer, baby, I love gin. Put the two together and we're bound to win. Beer bottle, baby, you're one for me. Beer bottle, baby, you're the one for me. Welcome to the Simon Chardier Show. Well, that's Beer Bottle Baby. I forget who that's by originally, but that's a Western swing tune. It's kind of ironical because I haven't had a drink in like over 30 years. Not a drink, not a joint, not a pill, no nothing. You know, I mean, uh, so I'm allergical to booze. I break out in handcuffs. So a teetotaler. I got enough fucking mental health issues without exacerbating them by being intoxicated. Just ain't my lifestyle. So anyway, I want to talk about the Gibson Les Paul Jr. Saw a lot of bands playing them when I was a kid. Foghat, Bad Company, uh, Johnny Thunders, of course. Who else used juniors a lot? Those are the guys I really remember using juniors a lot. A Mountain, saw a Mountain with Leslie West when I was a kid. And so they were around. I was always kind of interested in them. They were always in the window of those like those guitar pawn shop used guitar places. So I've always had one around. Like I had this one is a reissue one. Nice big fat neck the way I like it. Just real giant neck, almost like as big as my Telecaster neck. One pickup. I'm using a copy of an old Fender. You can see it back there. It's this guy Brian Cox made it. He passed away. I actually got the amp from him, and then I wrote him a letter telling him how much I liked the amp. And by the time I wrote the letter. Like, dude, he died a couple of days after I got the amp in the mail. The poor guy. But it's a real good amp, and it's a copy of a Fender 1957 Deluxe. It's got all really good parts in it, no cheap parts. The speaker is a Mojo Tone 30-watt British vintage speaker that I like because it's got a little bit of, you hear like those bell tones. The speaker's got this nice kind of ring to it. It's got the highs. You need to have, if you're playing through a Fender Deluxe Tweed, you need to have a speaker that's got good highs, because they can get kind of muffly sounding, and if you don't have a good high, you know, high end treble on your speaker. So I like the speaker. I love the amp. And Les Paul Jr., you just got one pickup, two knobs. So you can, you know, they're not jazz guitars, but you can get like a kind of Django Reinhardt kind of sound. Like, you can get a little more of a Django when he was playing jazz. Like, so if I was going out on a gig, not a straight ahead jazz band, but like a roots kind of blues, rhythm blues, rockabilly, that might have do, you know, they might have do like, you know, you can get by with that kind of a sound. The Les Paul Jr., I like the red. It's like my other red one that you've probably seen. And if you ever came out to see me play live with the Bar Sinisters, about the last 10 years of the Bar Sinisters, I used that guitar on every gig, just because it sounded good, and it was already kind of beat up, so I didn't worry about it too much. But this one, it's a reissue. Then you've got just this aluminum piece of metal, the strings attached to it, wrap over, one pickup. So you got to manipulate it a little bit. Like I said, you know, you can get like... Remember, my amp isn't wound up either. My amp is like barely on. I'm playing with a super clean. But let me stop before I start fucking up. But anyway, so that's it. I like these little 12-watt deluxes. They're about the biggest amp I use anymore on gigs, you know. But they got it. You put them up on a milk crate, they sound really good. They got a lot of bass on them, a lot of low end. So you put them up on a milk crate and they project out in the audience nice. And you don't have to really blow anybody's ears out, but you can be heard, you know. And juniors, I love them. I love them. I wish I was, you know, I also want to say, like, you know, I've been watching some of these guitar shows on YouTube. These younger guys, these guys are very successful guys. They're playing all these, you know, they're real pros. They're young. They're guys, you know, they're probably half my age. They're probably in their about 30, and like Rhett Shull and oh man, what's this other guy? R.J. Ronquillo, that's it. R.J. Ronquillo and Rhett Shull. I've been watching their shows too, and they talk about their guitars, their amps, and their gigs, and so it's nice to watch them. You know, it's nice to watch these other guys. So I'm just, you know, I'm just sitting out here in Queens doing this thing here, you know. And the other thing I want to say, like, okay, I want to quote Jimmy Breslin, the journalist, the guy that got Son of Sam to you know, the guy that was dealing with Son of Sam back then, and all that shit. And he actually his sons used to live across the street from where I live now in Rockaway. But he said, New York, this city that I love and hate equally. And you know, I was born here, I lived here my whole life. But I gotta tell you, sometimes, man, like the fucking subway, alright? I got this love-hate thing. Like, okay, we used to have these tokens, alright? They were metal, they had that Y in the middle, NYC. That was like the heart of New York. You put them in the turnstile, they made this noise, bang, okay, went down there, off you went. You know, you got your fucking train. The worst thing would happen, the junkies would put like a Kleenex in the turnstile, so when you put your token in, it wouldn't go in. Then they come back later and suck the tokens out, and they did that all day. And then they would sell the tokens up on the street for half price until they had enough money to go get nice, you know. But that's what now with these fucking Metro cards. I had 2 Metro cards break on me, and then you got to send them in, and it's just like, come on, man. I grew up listening to Chuck Berry, you know, when everybody else was listening to like Gentle Giant and ELP and Vandergraaf Generator and John Denver and James Taylor. I like Chuck Berry, you know. Everybody else hated Chuck Berry and Gene Vincent. They'd take that record off. The guitar isn't even using a distortion pedal, you know. But I mean, all you gotta know is like, payphone, something wrong, dime gone, will mail, order to the operator for tell me a tale. Like, come on. I gotta send a fucking Metro card in. I gotta wait a month. It's $25 I'm out on these fucking Metro cards. You gotta mail them in, and it's like $25 is a lot of money to a guy like me, okay? I go out on these gigs. I might be taking my amp on the subway or lugging my amp down the street, and I'm knocking my dick in the dirt. You might see me up there playing, oh yeah, having a good time, blah blah. But it's like you don't realize that I might have practiced 40 hours to go out on that gig and still fuck it up. And you know, I busted my ass to barely make a living over here doing what I love to do. But it's like $25 to a man like me. That's a lot of fucking money. And I tell you, where I come from, I've seen fucking people fucking fuck somebody up over $25. I've seen people get fucked up over $10 bad, you know, where I come from. So I'm just saying, you know, I'm a guy that grew up, I saw a guy hit another guy in the head with a stick over $40. So it's like $25 to me. That's like MTA, fuck you. Your Metro cards are flimsy. They break. They fuck up. The token booth clerks can't help you. I had this guy sell me a whack Metro card at the booth. I won't go to a machine. And so when I got out of the subway, I got back in the subway 2 hours later, my card didn't work. $17, you know. It's like, They just don't. You know, it's a crime to be poor in America. If you're poor, it's like, what's the matter with you that you're not a billionaire? You gotta have something wrong with you. Well, let me tell you something. I got a lot wrong with me, motherfucker. Thank you. All right, kids, be careful. I love you.